And here we go. How do you guys like the new setup? Got an electric drum kit. Lots of cool things happening here. We got our on-air neon sign courtesy of my good friend Steph over at Le Carcajou Gym. For all my friends out there who don't really know what the hell a carcajou is, um, it is a wolverine. It's French for a wolverine. It's a private gym, and you got to be pretty strong to go in there. What is the requirements to get in there? As you have to have either a legit 500 bench, legit 700 squat all raw, or legit 700 deadlift. And if you can get in, if you can do that, you might be able to get into Le Carcajou Gym. But Sam, how is Sam doing? So I know Sam's my good friend. She is from the Twin Cities, great friend, and I hope to meet her sometime when we get over there to Paisley Park. Check out some of the great things in Sam. Very well could be. It's a weird time to do a live stream. This just happened to work. We just got off a 2 weeks vacation. The big due for someone turned 50, but I won't mention who. But yeah, I'm hoping sometime we can get up to the Twin Cities. We wanted to go to Paisley Park this year, but we got hit with a lot of unexpected expenses. And once you think the expenses are taken care of, another one jumps up, like something breaking down on a vehicle or two. Okay. Hey, I was over on Patreon. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll go over to Patreon and I will actually. Can I do that or no? Hopefully everyone will figure it out. Sam, I think you should come to the celebration next June. I think you'd have a blast. We would like to get up there. We actually have relatives that live halfway between here and the Twin Cities. I think it's an 18-hour drive. Gay. If I figured it out, anyone could. So a couple of things on that. One of the things, I hope you guys like the new background. You know, there's a lot of cool things going to be happening this year. My year, I've been a guitar teacher forever. My year seems to go from September to September, not January to January. That's a guitar teacher in me, I guess. But I hope you guys like the new background. And a lot of cool things are going to be coming. And but the reason I wanted to do this live stream was because we were working on a documentary about me, my life story, my channel, and I've had a very interesting life. A lot of twists and turns that you guys probably aren't going to expect are going to be in it, and we want to take extra time. Like making a documentary, you got to do it right. And I didn't just want to throw something together really quickly and cheaply. I want to do a really good job. So, for people out there, if you have questions or things that you'd like for me to talk about in the documentary, I posted about it on Patreon. I'm going to probably, when it's ready for the rough edit, I'm going to post it on Patreon to give the patrons a quick check for the rough edits, see what they think. But it's not going to be for a while. I really want to take my time with it and do a really good job. So very importantly, but that is what's going on here. And lots going on. Again, a lot of requests for a lot of different bands now. We're still doing a lot of Prince content. The last reaction I did, actually today was a recording day. So I spent all day recording reactions. I will say Gay and Sam will be very happy with what I had recorded. And we're moving a lot of different directions. We have a lot of people in the Japanese metal scene, which I love, pulling me into that. But also kind of what's surrounding Nightwish, like Winter Sun and bands like that as well. And again, we're doing a lot of Prince content. I'm keeping more of the Prince content more on Patreon. But the last reaction I did, once you think you get a grasp of Prince, you realize you don't, because the last one, I'm Yours, was it, that I reacted to? It blew me away. I'm like, oh my God, this is like 78. Listen to his guitar playing for 78. And there's a heavy prog element to it, which really blew me away. And I'm like, man, have I even scratched the surface on this guy? This is crazy. So, yeah, Gay. Someone I know, a good friend of mine, had a Winter Sun request. It was noted and done. Hopefully, it will be up this week. Sam, listen, let's talk about Patreon. I don't worry about it. Any support people show me, whether it's for a month, a year, whatever, um, I get it. It happens. We all have to make adjustments like that. I was a Patreon for a long time with someone. Unfortunately, they weren't really posting or responding to messages for months on end. And after a while, I thought, well, I can't. Like things happen. Don't worry about it. But you'll always be part of our community, and you're always welcome back. And man, you've contributed so much for me on Patreon through the channel, and you are very loved. And things do happen. Financial things come up, as I just said. We wanted to go to Paisley Park. We had money set away for it, and we had some setbacks that we had to deal with. So that's like, okay, well, do we replace a furnace that got destroyed and the AC that got destroyed in a flood, or do we go to Paisley Park? Well, the mufflers come off my car. Do I get that fixed? Things happen. Don't worry about it. You're very loved, and it's all good. No worries. No worries at all, Sam. No worries at all. Yeah. So, things happen. That's life. The thing is, for me, as YouTube, it evolves, it changes, and I'm very proud of how far things have come. A lot of people would say, dude, you're like almost at 25,000 subscribers in less than 2 years. I saw something recently where it said 96% of all YouTube channels have less than 10,000 views. But I still think I haven't hit my stride yet. There's a lot of things I want to do. I still have to come out of my shell more in some different ways. And I think this is going to be a big year. We're really going to see what we can do. As I said, we had a couple of weeks holidays. They were very busy holidays. We had a lot going on. I still tried to get some content out, but yeah. Yes, we've had discussions about vets and that kind of thing. We had a big discussion. I don't know if it was just private between Sam and I, or if we talked about it on Patreon, but it happens. We know some people. Their dog got hit by a car and had to pay $3,500 for the dog to get an operation. Very sad. Very sad. But and Sam, I wanted to do a deep dive too into that documentary that we had a big discussion about. I wanted to figure out a way how I could record my reaction and deep dive it. And this is also a very weird time for interviews because a lot of the musicians are out on the road right now, and a lot of them, when they're on the road, they don't really want to be doing interviews. And so it's been kind of a transitionary point in the channel. But I loved our interview with Morris, and you played a huge hand in that. And I enjoyed all our Prince-related interviews, but there was just something about the one with Morris. It was just amazing listening to him talk and his stories. As you know, and we kind of keep it more just the Patreon. I like to give the patrons a heads up. And Sam, you've seen some of the people I've tried contacting, and some people are like, yay, some people are nay. Fan YT, hey, my son is addicted to Chinchilla Central. All I know is, isn't a chinchilla like from South America? It's like a furry animal. I can't really help you out there. Yeah. And yes, as I've heard too, one of my hopes is that eventually we'll get a few interviews with Nightwish, maybe Flora or Troy or whatever. Now is not a good time, but when we do, I'd like to have a patron react with me on the north side. Sam, I would love it if you would share that with me. Maybe we'll talk privately by email about it, but I'd like to do a deep dive reaction to it without breaking any legalities. But maybe we could talk about that privately by email. So that's kind of doing the live stream today. That's what I wanted to check out. Just tell everyone we are doing a documentary about me and my channel, and there might be a few twists and turns with my channel this year, and it's been quite a journey, and taking little breaks every now and then I find is very rejuvenating, because when you're an intense person and you put a lot of work into something, you can burn out, and it's good just sometimes just to take a bit of time away, and the viewers, the patrons, everyone understands. But it's definitely a grind, but we're definitely getting there with YouTube for sure. But I still feel we haven't quite hit our stride yet, so we're going to keep working on it. But yeah, Sam, please, if we'll talk more by email. I really appreciate that. Fan YT, sorry I can't help you with your question. Yeah, I can't help you on that one. Funny question though, but I get the sense of humor. That's kind of, sometimes I'll ask funny off the wall questions like that too. So, but anyway, on that note, guys, okay, we'll wrap it up for our live stream here. But that's kind of what's happening. We have a documentary we're working on, and if people have any questions that they'd like me to talk about or have cover in the documentary, email them to me. Email them to me at yesyoucanplayguitar@gmail.com, and we can cover it. And I want to do a really good job and cover it as much as possible. And there's a craft to making documentaries, so I want to do a really good job. And yeah, I really appreciate it too, Gabe. And but I'm just going to I'd rather take an extra month or two and do it really good than to just whip something together really quick and throw it up and then be like, oh. That's one thing with YouTube. You post a video, you have to live with it. I can't even watch some of my videos from like a year ago, some of my reactions, like the lighting and everything. If you look back, you can see the progression and the quality of the videos, the lighting, the production, and everything. So, Love Bites Brazil fans love Bites. We recorded a reaction of Love Bites today. We had a huge reaction day and a recording day. We recorded a lot of material that'll be posted this week. Cheers from Brazil. Which of the Japanese bands you've listened to so far impressed you the most? Love Bites. Asterism was quite good. Bandmate is good, but they're different. But they're good. They're just different. Nephilia, they were pretty good too. I think there's more to them. The video I saw was, but there's other bands like Maximum, The Hormone, and stuff that we have to delve into as well. But yeah, I'm into Love Bites, man. They're wicked. They cover all the territories covered. They got an awesome front person, singer, two amazing guitar players that do amazing solos, amazing harmonies, great guitar riffs. They have a great bass player. The new one is really fitting in well, it seems. Great drummer. And their songs, their craft of writing songs is really good. They have really good songs. That impresses me. But there's a lot with the Japanese metal scene that I have to check out. I was a huge Loudness fan back in the 80s. Still am. Actually, one of my early YouTube videos, when I started working on this channel almost 2 years ago, we'll have our, actually, what's the date today? It's August 7th. So our 2-year official anniversary is August 12th. So on August 12th, that will be our official 2-year anniversary. I did a video very early on about Akira Takasaki, the guitar player for Loudness. I loved Loudness. I had some of their albums in the mid 80s. I wore them out. He's a great guitar player. But I kind of lost touch with what was going on in Japan. So, yeah. On August 12th, I'll be at the Disturbed concert. Gay, that's awesome. You were telling me about that. Who is on that? Is Nightwish on that one? Or I'm actually wondering when Nightwish will come to maybe Montreal next. If they come to, like, Montreal is a pretty big city. Will they play at a club, or are they going to play at the arena? Ginger, yes, you told me that. So Love Bites Brazil. Here's my thing too. I like metal, but I'm drawn to virtuoso playing. So like one of the things with Love Bites is they're all amazing musicians, and the songs are good. The songs are catchy. The guitar solos are really good. So even though I'm a technical guitar guy, I like to see technical playing, but within the scope of fitting the song, right? When you see technical stuff, there's amazing technical guitar players out there. When you see amazing technical stuff, but it doesn't really fit the solo, it's basically you're putting a story into a story. I could give you some examples. Uh, a really great guitar solo from a metal band. Listen to the song Electric Crown from Testament. That would be a very good example of a fantastic guitar solo of a great story within a great story. That's a really good example of that. But Love Bites does that in all their songs. Plus, they have great guitar harmonies. They're a little bit reminiscent of a great band from the late 80s called Racer X. Paul Gilbert and Bruce Bouillet were the guitar players in that band. Check out some of Racer X live. Check out their second Heat album. So, you know, Love Bites might have listened to a little bit of them too. They were a wicked band before Paul Gilbert left to join Mr. Big. Gay, you actually got my attention when you recognized that Empu was a great guitar player who played for the song. Yeah, Empu. We did some more recording today of reaction videos. So like Empu, he's a boss. He's a boss. I call him Little Empu just out of a term of endearment and affection. He's short. I know he's a national judo champion. I get all that. I just call him Little Empu. Right? It's a term of endearment, affection. And but he's a great guitar player. Wicked guitar player. Great guitar tone, too. Love Bites Brazil fans. My biggest achievement was going to the Iron Maiden concert in 2013 here at the Rock in Rio, man. That's been a big deal for a long time. And after 2015, Slipknot. Cool. Gay McCullough, they call him the Electric Hobbit. Yes, the Electric Hobbit. Well, you never know. I know through our Patreon journeys with Nightwish, Empu he's not one of the, he doesn't speak English as good as some of the other members of Nightwish. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe Floor or Troy getting an interview with them. I would have loved to have interviewed Marco too. But yes, anybody have any questions for my documentary about me, feel free to email them to me. You know, Testament, they are my all-time favorite metal band, and Alex Skolnick is my all-time favorite guitar player since '87. I was actually talking with Alex the other day. He's going to be on, you know, we've been trying to find a time for him to come on and do an interview on my channel, but it looks like it's going to be next year around the release of his Alex Skolnick Trio album, which is great. Great guy. He's always been a class act. I've kind of known him more from a distance for many years, but he's always been very cool, very classy. And I'm looking forward to having him on. Gay Angra just blocked a song on another Reactors channel. I am familiar with the name Angra, but I haven't heard Angra. And yes, sometimes when you get a blocked song, it can be very frustrating. So what I do, certain songs, when people send me requests and it's a performance on one of the big channels like ABC, NBC, CBS, you know it's going to be blocked. So so sometimes you got to be careful with that. I've been fortunate. I haven't had a copyright strike yet. But when you get a blocked song, it can be frustrating. But at the same time, I try and make it a positive, and I put it over on Patreon. So all the people that support my channel through Patreon, they can go through the whole library of blocked songs. We're definitely over 40 blocked songs since I started my channel. Halloween and Riot are Haruna San's Love Bites drummers. She's a wicked drummer, eh? Favorites I like too. Yes. You know, Halloween, I remember even when I was in high school in the late 80s, early 90s, they were a lot of my metal friends are like, oh, Halloween, you got to check them out. And to me, they're a great band. They just sound like a little bit more of a technical version of Iron Maiden. But, you know, to be fair, though, I didn't really give Halloween a huge chance. I was really into the thrash metal bands, but I was also into really technical stuff like the band Cacophony, if you remember Marty Friedman, who went on to join Megadeth, and Jason Becker when they played. I was into Steve Vai, love Testament. I love Megadeth, especially. I like Jeff Young. I liked his guitar playing, but I also really like Marty Friedman's playing. unfortunately with Megadeth, they've had so many member changes. Like I had a great interview about a year ago with David Ellison, who played bass for them for a long time. He was my first big interview on this channel, and I'll always be eternally grateful to him. But I just can't keep up with all the member changes. Like I understand, I played in regional bands for years. Things happen, members can come and go, but when it's constant, I don't know, it just kind of kills the magic of the band, I find. So my good friend Steph at the Carcajou Gym, Le Carcajou, again, Carcajou is French for Wolverine. And it's a private gym for really strong people, but it's very private, okay? And no, you don't have to eat poutine when you're there. But you have to, what is it, Steph? You have to either have a legitimate 500 raw bench, legitimate 700 squat raw, or a legitimate 700 deadlift. To get in, not everyone can go to the Carcajou Gym. If you go to the Carcajou Gym, you better be there to help people with their lift-offs like competition time. But anyway, my good friend Steph, he was at my 50th this weekend, and he gave me a wonderful present, which is the neon on-air sign for my channel. I love Steph dearly. He's like a brother, but I want to kick him in the butt when it comes to guitar because he needs a kick in the butt. But yeah, the sign looks amazing. Thank you so much, Steph. Really, it was really great seeing you and Kim this weekend. So again, that's what's going on. Masha Schwinkles. Hey, just dropping by. Masha, thank you so much. Have you done any Arion yet? I have not. Now, I've heard about Arion for some time. In the comments section, there has been a lot of requests for them. So Masha, if you could do me a favor, can you email me at yesyoucanplayguitar@gmail.com and just post a link of what you think would impress me most about Arion to do a reaction to. I would really appreciate that. Love Bites Brazil fans. Martin Friedman has a YouTube metal channel where he interviews top Japanese metal artists. Midori-san and Miyako-san have been twice. It is English subtitles. I've had people in the Nightwish reaction video comments tell me that. And funny story is about 2009, I had a guitar student whose parents were from Japan, and we exchanged guitar lessons for Japanese lessons, and I really got into it for a while. Learned how to write hiragana. Actually, not bad, fairly well. I didn't keep it up though, but I could speak a little bit, like "Kore wa nan desu ka?" And all that kind of stuff. But I love Japanese culture. Again, I would love to go to Japan. It's expensive there though. I remember in the late 90s, a company I worked for, this woman I knew there, she was telling me that she was Japanese, but she went to Japan to visit her family. Just the cab ride from the airport in Tokyo to wherever it was she had to go to, it was $400 Canadian. Like, that was in like 99. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. But yeah, Masha Swingles, I really appreciate that, Masha. It's a good way, as you know, on my channel. I don't know if I'd be considered a small channel now. Maybe people would consider it a medium channel. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think we're got to be getting towards 25,000 subscribers. I get thousands of reactions or reaction requests a month. That's why sometimes when people join my Patreon, they get their reaction requests get bumped to the top of the list. But if you can email me that, Masha, I'll kind of separate. I'll have it there by email instead of like it getting lost in the thousands of comments. Thank you so much, Gay. Masha, I did a video you might want to check out just for fun a few months ago, and I took 5 minutes. I had a timer on the clock, and I just scrolled through the comments for 5 minutes, and it didn't even put a dent in all the comments I had. And I'm just like a medium-sized channel. Okay, I'm going to go by what Gay says. It's a medium-sized channel. For me, in my head, I think anything from 0 to 10,000 subscribers is small. 10,000 to probably maybe 100,000 is medium, and anything over 100,000 subscribers, that's a lot of subscribers, man. Anything over that was what I would consider a big channel, and then everything over 1 million is, I call it a mega channel. My good friend Mark, how is Mark doing? Thanks, Mark. So Mark's a longtime friend, and he's from England. It is on our list of to go to England. I have a lot of friends from the UK, but I want to visit Mark, see how he's doing, hit the gym with him, and I want to try the fish and chips over there. And but we want to try the vinegar because over here in Canada, vinegar's like clear, but over in England, it's like murky, murky. So I want to try that with Mark sometime. I really appreciate it, Mark. Had a couple of weeks holidays. I still had some content up, but we're going to be stepping it up now. Back. Love Bites Brazil fans. If expensive for you, imagine us for Brazilians. Yes. I'm learning Nihongo on my own. It's hell, but you have a good Japanese accent. Thank you. Kuko. Uh, Mark, malt vinegar. Yes. I watched a video, although I've really been watching my diet and been working out hard. Um, I am a foodie. So, I watched a video on, was it Food Insider or something about what are the best fish and chip places in England, and it was pretty cool. My partner, G, she loves fish and chips, and in the past we've gone to some restaurants and the fish and chips weren't very good. It's like, oh man, are you serious? I'm big on food, although I've been eating really clean. Uh, I kind of went a little too crazy with food earlier this year, but when you go to a restaurant, you pay a lot of money, and you're not happy with either the portions or the quality of the food. It's not a nice feeling, you know. So, but I think fish and chips weren't they created in England? But and bangers and mash, I've never had that. I'd like to try that. But my sister and my mother, where are they going? No, they're not going to. I thought they were going to Ireland. No, they're going to Rome. They're going to Italy in the fall. There are loads of good chippies in the UK. No shortage of choice. You must have mushy peas too. Yeah, we saw a video on with Eddie Hall and some woman who was a competitive eater have an eat off, and they were having it was fish and chips, and they had mushy peas, and I'm like, what the hell is that? But I would definitely try them. My good friend Sam, you're making me hungry. Yeah, uh, yeah, I'm definitely a foodie, but I've been very very well behaved the past few months. Uh, Love Bites Brazil fans. Brazilian churrasco barbecue is better. I have some Brazilian friends. Back in the day when I did a bit of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I had some Brazilian friends. And also my good friend, he's got a YouTube channel, Shred Guitar TV, Carlos. He lives in Poland, but he's from Brazil. I talk to Carlos a lot. Um, just try the UK's favorite dish, an Indian curry. Proper tasty food. There was where I used to live. I won't name the town because it doesn't deserve the recognition. But where I lived for a long time, they had a chef at a restaurant. It was an Indian restaurant, and his butter chicken was to die for. He was actually did some training under Chef Gordon Ramsay, and he was an amazing chef. And then he moved away when the pandemic started, and I guess that restaurant went downhill, and they closed because he wasn't there anymore. Uh, Gay, McCullough, oh, bangers and mash are great. A couple of years ago, I went to my ancestral village in Ireland, and the bangers and mash were out of sight. So I'm 3/4 Irish, 1/4 British. That is my heritage. I think my family's from the Cork area. I think it's Cork, if I can remember correctly. Ramsey has no place butchering a curry. Well, let me tell you, his name was Chef Ram Ogandis. He has his own line of butter chicken, like sauces and stuff. Is I never really experienced Indian food until him, and he was just an incredible chef. And when you eat on that quality, it really, uh, is pretty amazing. And that's another thing I was going to ask you guys. I try to keep a lot of stuff with my channel music related, but I am a foodie. I'm pretty good on the grill. Do you think some people would like to see some videos of me cooking flank steak or sirloin steaks? I'm really good with steak, pretty good with grilled chicken. Hamburgers are kind of a pain to cook, but they can really, I just did a deep cleaning on our barbecue. It's a really nice Napoleon barbecue, so we want to take care of it. But anyway, yeah. Do you guys think it would be a bad thing if I posted a few videos about me eating, cooking food? Love Bites Brazil fans, stop talking about food. Yes. Endless Rage, slow smoked brisket. So we had a 10-pound brisket. We had a big do here on Saturday for my 50th. My 50th birthday is actually August 15th, but for logistical reasons and scheduling reasons, it just worked better for everyone this weekend. We had a smoker here with a 10-pound brisket. They did a pork loin too. I don't really eat pig meat. Just, I don't know. I won't get into all that, but I've never been a big fan of bacon. I like turkey bacon, but we had a brisket with I think it was cooked with hickory pellets, but it had a bourbon chipotle type rub on it. It was really good. I love Bites Brazil. You actually brought up something really good. I am Canadian. Can you tell? Just give her, eh? I love ginger, the spice as well as the band, because the spice, it's really good for your stomach. It's also really good for your joints and arthritis. So I do take ginger every day. But I also like the band ginger. I love the band ginger, actually. I think they're phenomenal. I have heard Spirit Box. So a few years ago, I had Sirius XFM, whatever, satellite radio. I used to listen to it in my car all the time. And I remember hearing Spirit Box. I remember being blown away to whatever song it was. I'm actually going to write that down, Love Bites Brazil fans. I'm going to write down Spirit Box. And could you recommend a live version? I like doing live reactions. I'll do some audio reactions, more so for friends and patrons, but I like the live. I like seeing the band interact. I like seeing them all play together. I think that's awesome. You can just get inside the band a little more that way. But Love Bites Brazil, email me, yesyoucanplayguitar@gmail.com. Send me the YouTube link that you think I would really like. Again, that way it won't get lost in like the comment section of a video or something. It's funny. So we have Mark on here, and Mark has always been a good friend, supported the channel. I never wanted to be one of those channels that doesn't acknowledge the people that made the channel. It's the viewers. And I always felt very strongly about that since the beginning. And I'll see some bigger channels that I like, you comment or whatever. My channel's starting to get kind of big enough where I do get acknowledged by some bigger channels now if I comment. But there's a lot of the big channels, like, they don't respond at all. And I don't think that's cool. And I remember one day, it was well over a year ago now. I spent 3 hours one morning trying to give personal responses to all the comments. And I remember Mark, he's like, dude, you're not going to be able to do that forever. So what I do now is I like to do things like this. A lot of people are doing live streams all the time, and I don't like doing that because, I respect people's time. It's nice YouTube. You can watch a video on your own time. But what I like to do is if I get a video and it gets over 1,000 views and 50 comments, I'll do a reading your comments video where it shows me reading your comments, saying your name, giving you a shout out and all that other stuff, because it's important to acknowledge the viewers. So I like doing that. So Led Zeppelin, rock band or cover band? Discuss. All right. That was something about Led Zeppelin. They were, I'm going to tell you another story, Mark, that I've never told you. So Led Zeppelin, they had that lawsuit thing with Spirit, the band. So they toured with Spirit. They might have even opened up for Spirit in the late 60s. And Spirit has a song called Taurus, if I remember correctly. And the intro to that song, there's parts in that song sound a lot like Stairway to Heaven. So a few years ago, they were sued by the estate of one of the passed away members of Taurus. I think it was a guitar player. And anyway, it got thrown out, but it was just dismissed or whatever. But many years ago, I took lessons from this fellow. He has his PhD in music, and it was some of the most He was an odd duck. Not to say anything against him because I'm an odd duck too, but he was a little odd. Especially when I said I have to stop taking lessons. I was with him for over a year, but he was a PhD, but he had the most brilliant musical mind. Like I could go in with the craziest questions and talk to him, and he'd always have the right answer for me. But he is like Canada's one of the biggest authorities on for legal stuff if it comes to copyright infringement issues with music. So if there's big cases, they refer to him in Canada anyway, maybe in the States too. So I thought about maybe having him on the show. He'd be old now though. He'd be well into his 70s if I think he's still alive, but um, he was a brilliant, brilliant mind, but he would have been someone I would have talked about that with. Gay. The bigger you get, the harder it is. It becomes impossible eventually, I would imagine. Gay, I totally agree. I totally agree, but at the same time, I just think like some of the bigger channels, there's someone in my neck of the woods, okay? I won't mention names, but he lives within an hour of where I live, and we're kind of out in the boonies. And this person is a pretty famous guy. He's a very famous comedian, and like he'll post all the time on Instagram, and he never replies to the comments or on YouTube. I'm not saying it to slight him, but I'm just saying it's like, dude, like like these people are very, very famous guy. I've even contacted him trying to have him on my show because he plays guitar. And he doesn't owe me that. That's fine, but it's just, like I don't know. I just think people need to be acknowledged because with YouTube, it's all about the views and the people supporting you, the people that subscribe, the people that comment. It all adds up. So I like to do something. I at least like to try and make an effort. It does get harder and harder. Literally, Gay, if you were here, I could show you. This is the comment section of unanswered comments. I'll bet you could scroll for about 2 hours and you still might not get to the end of it. But I always do the best I can. And that's all I can do, but at least I try. Some of the big channels, do they even try? Are they paying someone to do it for them? I don't know. Love Bites Brazil fans. Is your email in the description? Yes. I visit a lot of React and review channels. But remember, there might be a lot of React and review channels, but none of them are the big guitar daddy. I end up losing the email or forgetting. I use Instagram a lot because of the fan page. So I have an Instagram, but I'm not, I don't know. I find Instagram kind of annoying. Most of it is people are crypto investors writing you saying, hey, do you want to be happy and make a lot of money? Just really silly stuff like that. So I try and my social media, I try and keep it mainly to YouTube. Hey, I'm well into my 70s. My brain still works. Yes, sometimes. I don't know if I told you this, Gabe, but a while ago I walked into, I was working out here and I needed to go to the kitchen for something and I forgot. So I forgot what it was and I went into the kitchen. I forgot, came back, sat down. I remember what it was. I went back in the kitchen. I forgot again. Masha, if you get into Arion, he, as in Arian Anthony Lucassen, is a multi-instrumentalist, writer, and just all-around genius behind Arion and similar projects. Actually had done a few interviews on YouTube. That's very cool. Well, we'll do that, Masha, again, just to separate your request from everyone else's. Just send me the email and I'll definitely check it out. Love Bites Brazil fans. I even talked to some members of Japanese bands because Love Bites fan page Mio from Asterism is a soccer cool. Yes, and he visits channels that play his music sometimes. Very cool. I was doing that with Ren for a long time, and Ren even acknowledged some of my reaction videos. And then all of a sudden, like when I do a reaction video to Ren, the numbers really dropped. Not quite sure. See, I think what happens, guys, is that every day there's new channels popping up. And that's great. New channels popping up, doing reaction videos of what's popular, interviews, but there's only one big guitar daddy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So now, my friends, believe it or not, I have to get to work soon. I have people coming. I've had a break this afternoon with guitar lessons, and I have people coming for lessons. I actually teach guitar. That's my day job. A lot of people are like, man, over 20,000 subscribers, you must be making a ton of money. No, it pays a few bills, though. Thank God for my Patreons. Love Bites Brazil fans. Ronnie and Alex. are cool guys. Well, we shall look into that. So email me. Yeah, actually, let me do this for you right here. Love Bites, Brazil fans. Yes, you can play. And we will leave it at that. So, guys, I got to wrap it up because I got to run, get ready for my next student. I'm going to show him how to do some really cool diminished sweeps. Gay, thank you so much for everything. And you're going to be a very happy camper this week. I promise you that. Now, I don't know if you'll actually be out in a tent or a camper, but it's just a saying, I don't know, that we say here in Canada. But Alex Terrible. His last name is really Terrible? That's not a very nice last name. You too, Mark. Send me a message. Hey, how have you been? I miss you. You too, buddy. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up. And yeah, appreciate everyone taking the time to check it out. And the video will be up, or people can rewatch it tomorrow. Laugh at some of my jokes. I appreciate it because not everybody gets my jokes. But yeah, so thank you so much, everyone. And good seeing you all. Thank you, Love Bites Brazil fans, too. And we have Fred the Enchanted. It harms me being eternally based in Red Pill. Never embarrassing, always thinking the pseudo-intellectuals with my super brain. That's fantastic. You guys have an awesome evening, and we will talk to you soon.